Hello there everybody, how's it going? It's Jessie from Jessie Marie Does Stuff here on FlossTube, and I am coming to you on this Monday, July 31st, 2023, with an update video. So it's been a few weeks since my mid-year whip parade, and I've worked on a ton of things since then. It's high time for an update video. So before I get into everything, I would just like to say welcome to both my returning viewers as well as anybody who is checking me out for the very first time. Thank you all so much for your continued support of me and the channel and all of that. On this channel, I talk mostly about cross stitch, and today it's going to be all stitching because, like I said, I have a lot to cover. But sometimes I will talk about books and knitting. I have read quite a few things over the last several weeks, but we'll have to talk about that some other time. And knitting I haven't done, I don't think, much at all this year. I'm starting to feel the urge to knit, so who knows? Maybe that will make a comeback soon, but we're obviously not talking about that today. Today, it's all stitching, so settle in. I hope you have something to drink because it's quite a lot to go over today. I have all of the projects that I have worked on since the mid-year whip parade. I think it's like 8 or 9. And then I have some haul, some stash. Intermixed in all of that, I'm going to talk about Stitch New Jersey. I'm not going to do like a full sit down and chat about Stitch New Jersey because I'm too far gone from it, and I'm just better at talking about it in amongst all of my projects. So we're going to do it that way. And then I have my plans for August because tomorrow is August, and August is shaping up to be really busy. There's a lot of things that I'm trying to accomplish next month. So let's go ahead and jump in, and we are going to start actually with a finish because I have a finished object and I'm so excited. I haven't had a finish since April, maybe May. I can't remember when I finished my last monthly Quaker from the Heart Needle Art, but I had a finish this past weekend. So if you're anywhere on social media, you probably have seen this, but just in case you aren't, I was working on Stacey Nash Primitives Blackwater Hollow Sampler, and this is a piece that I pulled for WhipGo here in July. And so I set to working on it, and my goal for the piece was 3 days or 1,300 stitches, whichever came first. I did those 1,300 stitches on the morning of the third day, and then I just couldn't stop. So here is where we are. All done. So thrilled. Not only to have a finish, like I said, I haven't had a finish in a long time, but also just the way that this turned out. I really love it. This is on 40 count Newcastle linen in cottage stone by Color and Cotton. And it is using all of the called for threads. Plus I added in a Color and Cotton lava stone for the donkey and the cauldron. And just to add something else, my skein of onyx, which is used for all of the other black or dark gray elements, is fairly solid. And so I just kind of wanted something more interesting for the donkey and the cauldron. So I pulled lava stone. So I set to working on this, and I finished it on Friday night. And I thought it was going to be an easy finish on Friday. I didn't have a whole lot left to do on Friday. And then I discovered at the very end, just as I was about to stitch it, that this line down here, the text and the date, is over 1. It's 1 over 1. And this is a 40 count, so I had to adjust my expectations for when I was going to finish this real quick, because that takes a little while. So I finished it in the very late hours. It was honestly probably early Saturday morning, but for all intents and purposes, it was Friday night. So I got the finish. I was stitching on this while I was on Virtual Stitchers this weekend. I have been on Virtual Stitchers a couple weeks in a row now, and it feels really good to get that back into my regular routine. because they were in 2020. I was on there practically every night, so it feels good to hang out with those folks again. So anyway, this is a piece that I started originally in 2019, and it was for a harvest moon, and it was a Friday the 13th. So it was a harvest moon in early fall in September of 2019 on Friday the 13th. And so a bunch of folks started a piece with a moon on it, and so this was my choice. Now, my original start of this was on 32 count, and it was using a color conversion from things from Stash. And then I think I put the project down for a couple of years, and when I got back to it in 21, I think, I realized that I hated my color conversion, and I didn't love the piece on 32 count. It just wasn't screaming 32 count for me. So I scrapped that and pulled the called for threads. At this point, I had a much more robust Gentle Art sampler thread stash and was able to kit it all from Stash. And then I started over on the 40 count, and I am just so thrilled with it. I have entirely too much margins, but what are you gonna do? It is what it is. I do still have a decent chunk down here to do something with, so anyway, so that is my finish of Blackwater Hollow, and I'm hoping to get this to the framer pretty quickly because it's getting to be, we're getting towards the end of summer. I mean, tomorrow is August, so we're getting towards the end. It's going to take a while around here, but anyway, I'd like to have this displayed for fall. Super fun, super fun. And now I need another Stacy Nash in my projects because I don't have one on the go currently, but lots of contenders. So that is Blackwater Hollow. Now we're going to get into the whips and the projects that I have worked on this month. So when I was doing the mid-year whip parade, I was working on Quick Stitch Day and Night by Heaven and Earth Designs, artwork by Nadia Strelkina. Picture here of what it will look like finished. And I believe I told y'all that I was in the mood for some full coverage, and my wheel spun this one, and so I was working on this to the goal finish. My year-end goal for my full coverage pieces is 1,300 stitches times the number of years since I started it, and this was my birthday start in 2020, so that means a total of 3,900 stitches is what I wanted to get done in this piece. And so I have now done that. Between the page finish in May and this stitching that I did here on page 2 here in July, I have now met my year-end goal. And I love this so much. I love this piece a whole lot. I think it's because I immediately got into something interesting with these buildings, and the colors are comforting and fun. It's not super boring like some of my other full coverage pieces are here in this top left corner. But I really enjoy this one, and I cannot wait until next year when I can work on it again. It is going to go up back on the shelf for the rest of the year. So there's that. Oh, that reminds me. So I have read all of your comments on the mid-year whip parade, and thank you all so much for taking the time to do that. It's been just so much fun to read your comments. I have a few questions that I need to go over with you, but in the interest of time today, we're gonna hold off on that. But the question came up a couple of times is, what is this? Because I have a couple of these floating around on some of my projects. This is a parking bobbin. And so it's essentially, it is a collapsible bobbin that you can wrap parked threads around. And then you just snap this over it, and it keeps them protected and not tangling. I don't deal with a whole lot of tangling, but it is nice when I'm working on a piece and I can just corral those and not have to stress about them. So this in particular is a Bob Ease parking bobbin, and I got those on Amazon, like a 10-pack for $8, I think. So that's what that is. It's a parking bobbin. So that is quick stitch day and night. And I don't have this written down, so in editing I'm going to put down here my percentages complete on my full coverage pieces. So there is quick stitch day and night. After I finished my rotation on quick stitch day and night, I decided to get into some whip go, because with Stitch New Jersey here in the month of July, I knew that I was going to have to get a jump on some whip go things, because whip go takes a long time. Now this is some Stitch New Jersey haul. This is a new project bag. So this is funny. I have a bag, a Momily bag, that has this print on the inside. And I love this print so much. I just love the little black and white flowers. I love it a lot. So I've always said I would really like a bag with that on the outside. And then I'm at the vendor market at Stitch New Jersey, and I see that Penny Tunny Bags has this print, and I was like, oh, I gotta go get my credit card because I needed this bag. So anyway, so living in here, and I will be sure to link her shop below. She has an Etsy shop, so you can peruse her things. In this bag lives my Quinto Akuto, the Pointed Fifth by Long Dog Samplers. I love Long Dog so much. And I was so excited to have some Long Dog pieces come up for whip go this month, because I have been craving some monochromatic stitching. And this did not disappoint. So my goal for this piece for whip go was 3 days or 1,300 stitches, whichever came first. And I gave it the full 3 days and did over 3,000 stitches in those 3 days. It was a lot of stitching, but I just couldn't stop. So this is on 40 count Newcastle linen in Platinum from Zweigart. It's just a plain linen, and I'm stitching it using DMC 37.99. I really like my Long Dogs, stitching them in DMC. I don't have to think about variegation. I don't have to think about where to place certain colors. I don't have to pay attention to that. I can just stitch. And did I ever? You'll see in the before and afters, but I had the hog done. I had some of this done, I think. I had the dog done, some of the borders around it, and that's it. I have done all of this. Now I say all of this, but this is like a drop in the bucket for this piece. This piece is humongous. The stitch count is, I think, 350 square. Yeah, 353 by 352. So this is practically nothing on this design. But I don't even care, because it was just a lot of fun. And putting it away was not easy. That was not an easy task. I really wanted to keep going. I did cross the halfway point in the width. So the halfway point is right here. So that's pretty cool. And I mean, what can I say? It's just so much fun to stitch. And I say 40 count, it's 1/2 full cross. Sometimes the coverage is a little bit sparse, and I really like it. I really, really like it. So this project is supposedly done for the year, and I just don't know how to feel about that. But maybe it will get some more significant work next year. Maybe. So anyway, so that is Quinto Akuto. Okay, up next, I finished my rotation on Quinto Akuto and wasn't feeling my other whip go pieces, so I decided to go back to some full coverage. I was still in the mood for full coverage. I am still in the mood for full coverage. And so I spun my wheel, and it pulled Dark Waters, and I was so excited it pulled this piece. So this is Dark Waters, artwork by Jessica Elaine, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I am stitching a very, very slightly cropped version. I took off a total of, I think, 65 stitches off the width to fit the piece of fabric that I had, but it's hardly a crop. This piece is still massive. It's not my biggest currently, but it is nonetheless humongous. She's really tall, and she takes up the majority of the height of this design, so I'm excited about it. I guess I need a parking bobbin on this one because I've got some threads hanging around. So this is a piece where the top left corner is really boring. It's really, really boring. On this page, I think I will stitch a bird, and that's about it. Otherwise, it's just a mass of blue. A lot of 3750 going into this one. I don't know if I said it with quick stitch day and night, but 25 count easy grid Lugana 1/1 full cross is my method for full coverage designs. So again, my goal for this one is 3,900 stitches, and I think I've done 17 or 1,800 stitches towards that so far. So this won't complete page 2 for me. My goal won't complete page 2, but it'll get me pretty far into page 2 anyway. So I call this one Big Blue because it's big and mostly blue for now. I cannot wait. I think so. Normally I stitch my full coverage designs in diagonal pages. I think this one I'm going to stitch across because page 4 I get the very top of her head, and I want to get to her. So I am still going to complete in pages because cross country is just not my jam. But anyway, so there is Dark Waters. Okay, so now we get to Stitch New Jersey. And I took, I think, 8 projects with me, 4 whips, 4 potential new starts. When I got there, I had no idea what to work on, so I ended up working on Farmhouse Christmas. I'm laughing because it just occurred to me that 2 of these projects are the same ones that I worked on at StitchCon, and that just dawned on me. So anyway, Farmhouse Christmas. This is a project bag by Fab Shabby Rose, and I was working on block number 7. There's a total of 9, but I was working on block number 7. This is Cock-a-doodle-doo, this gorgeous white farmhouse. It is gorgeous, but stitching a white farmhouse. But it was okay. It was pretty decent retreat stitching. I mean, you know, I didn't have to switch colors a lot. So I finished the block, which is the same thing I did at StitchCon. At StitchCon, I worked on block 6 and I finished the block. And at Stitch New Jersey, I finished block 7. So I guess I need to get a block ready for Stitch New England because I'm going to need to finish a block there too. So anyway, I was just over the halfway point with block 7 here, and I finished it up. So that is where I got to. And I got that finished up on Friday and got to clap for a for a finish. So much fun. So I have officially 7 blocks done, 2 to go. However, my plan originally was to not stitch the borders on the even blocks. So blocks 2, 4, 6, and 8. I wasn't going to stitch this border that I find very repetitive and very boring. And so I was just going to stitch the odd blocks. This is block 6 that I accidentally stitched in the with the border. So instead of ripping out the border on this one, I'm just going to go add the borders to blocks 2 and 4, which I have on different pieces of fabric. This fabric just holds these couple. I'm just going to go add those blocks, or add those borders to those blocks. So silly. I was on autopilot, I guess, and just started stitching block 6 in there. So I have blocks 8 and 9 to do, and I am working my way towards a finish. This is going to go on the Q-snap and be my TV stitching. On Saturday, I was going to try to work in my new starts throughout the day. Saturday, I got my retreat migraine, which was really just not fair. It's very not fair. So one of the pieces that I was planning on starting was Summer Montage by Pain Free Crafts. And I was really excited to get that one started. While I had the migraine and I wasn't in a space to stitch, I was working on getting that kitted up. I had brought my floss organizers, I had brought all of the threads, and so I was busy cutting my lengths to put on my floss organizers, hoping that with enough meds and enough rest, I would be able to knock out the migraine and be able to stitch on my new start. So I did start it, but I hated my stitches. I was dealing with some silly eye stuff with the migraine, and it was on a Q-snap, and it's high confetti in that top left corner, and so I scrapped it and told myself that I was going to start it later because it was just way too messy for me to be happy with, and so I basically didn't stitch much at all on Saturday. Because of the migraine, I was having some after effects on Sunday. I was having some dizzy spells. I was having some additional headache issues. My vision was doing funny things. It was not a great scenario. And so I ended up staying Sunday night. I was supposed to go home on Sunday, but I ended up staying on Sunday night, and it all kind of worked out best. The weather wasn't great for travel on Sunday. So it was kind of nice to stick around and to not have to worry about driving, feeling like I was. And so I got to stitch overtime. I got to be there for the after party. Several folks' flights got canceled, and so we had a whole table of us that were staying the extra night, and it was really great. It was kind of the most retreat feeling of the whole retreat, and the whole Stitch New Jersey. I mean, it's one of my annuals. I absolutely adore Stitch New Jersey and hope to go back every year that it's running. It's my favorite, really, of the retreats. But that after party, that was good. If you can stay for the after party of a retreat, I suggest it. It was pretty nice. And then I got up Monday morning and I drove home. So all of that to say, I did some more stitching on Sunday, and I was working on my Move Forward in Love. So this is in a stitch in button bag. Every time I show this bag, I say she doesn't have any more of this one, but she's got lots of great bags. So check out her shop. She's always linked in the description box. So this is Move Forward in Love. It is the Modern Folk Embroidery Pride Sal from 2022. And I stitched on this a lot on Sunday. I made a lot of progress on Sunday. So this is 40 count Newcastle linen in chickpea. And I'm stitching on it with the color full version. So Jacob came out with two versions. There's a color version and then there's a monochromatic version. And I mention that because Allie Z, who is now in FlossTube, and I'm going to link Allie's channel in the description box. Allie was working on the monochromatic version on a rainbow fabric right behind me. And here I was working on the rainbow version on a neutral fabric right there. So that was pretty cool to see the two at the same time. So I basically stitched the green, I finished the progress flag. And I haven't quite filled in the lettering on the progress flag yet, but nonetheless, the big stripes are done. And that was great. If I'm gonna have a migraine hangover, some big block stitching, that was good. So I got a pretty decent chunk in on this one on Sunday at the after party. So that was good. So I finally get back from retreat, a day late, and quite a few dollars short because I spent some money, which is all good. And I had to get into WIPGO. We're talking, this is the last half. We are firmly in the second half of the month. I had done exactly one WIPGO piece. It was time to get into some WIPGO. So I either spun the wheel or I chose to work on Horror Movie Alphabet by Clouds Factory. This is one of my favorite WIPs. I know that not everybody loves this piece, but if you do, here they are. This piece makes me so happy. I mean, really, it just makes me so happy. So this rotation I had, because this is a 2016 WIP, it has 2 rotations this year, and this first one was 4 days or 1,600 stitches, whichever came first. I gave it 4 days, just shy of 1,600 stitches, and 5 new characters. So this time I finished up Hannibal Lecter, and then I stitched Leatherface, Michael Myers, Norman Bates, and Q the Winged Serpent, backstitch and all. And just love how they all are turning out. So I now have 3 of the 5 rows done. 11, 17, 18. So I have 8 characters left. I'm going to try to finish this year. It's not going to be a finish before October. But nonetheless, I'm going to try to finish this year. I might even take this with me to Stitch New England because on October 13th, they are releasing The Exorcist, The Exorcist, and I have Reagan to stitch here for R. And so I think I might try to work on this on the 13th at Stitch New England. So somebody remind me of that come October to take this project with me to work on Reagan. Maybe WIPGO will work out and I'll be able to work on it in October. Who knows? So that is Horror Movie Alphabet. The fabric here is 32 count Belfast linen in Lycan's Moon by Under the Sea Fabrics. One of the WIPs that I took with me to Stitch New Jersey was one of my WIPGO pieces, and I thought it would be really cool to work on a long dog sampler at Stitch New Jersey since I started Ragnarok last year at the same retreat. So I took this piece with me, and this is Opening Gambit by Long Dog Samplers. And it was really cool because while I'm there, I look over and I see Lori of Once Upon a Stitch is showing her Opening Gambit, and she is now 1 page from the finish. But at the time she was working on that second to last page, and so if I remember, I will stick in a picture here of Lori and I holding up our Opening Gambits together. Obviously, I am not near as far as she is, but nonetheless. So I tried to stitch on this while at retreat, but it just wasn't happening. I think this was migraine day. So I pulled this out after Horror Movie Alphabet to work on for my WIPGO goal. This is another 3 days or 1,300 stitches, whichever came first, long dog, which I don't think is fair. But anyway, so I get to working on the deer, and pretty quickly here I realized that there's something not right here. I don't have enough space between the deer and the flagpole. So you see this little pyramid here? There's supposed to be 2 of those. Yep, I missed a whole chunk. So all of this would have to come out and the whole deer would have to come out. And you know what I said? Nah. No, we're not ripping. First of all, I am absolutely in love with my long dogs on 40 count. I am really loving 40 count stitching, and so I was just like, you know what, let's restart this on 40 count because I'm in the mood to restart. So this is not going well on the 32 count. Let's restart. And so I did. I bought a piece of 40 count vintage country mocha. That's 32 count vintage country mocha. I bought a piece of 40 count while at Stitch, New Jersey. And it lives in this bag. This is made from, this is made by Diana of It Is Kismet Stitches. And I bought a piece of 40 count while at Stitch, New Jersey because Needleworkers Delight is essentially a pop-up shop these days until they find a new space. They had a space in the hotel, which was kind of nice for us. We didn't have to go anywhere. And we were able to just shop right there. So I had bought this for another project, but I thought, oh no, this is all working out very serendipitously. And so I restarted it. And I got quite a bit into my restart in those, I think I worked on this for 4 days total. If you add in what I did on the 32 count edition, I got pretty far into this. I got pretty much to the same space that I was when I started working on this year. So that's pretty cool. I mean, I'm not too mad about that. And then I made sure to stitch a little bit of something else, just because it felt very repetitive. I was having some deja vu. I've already stitched this. Yes, I already have. So I got to work on this bird here, and the camel is right here. So restart. And honestly, I'm not too mad about it. 40 count is my jam. So this piece is really small. It's for a long dog, for a non-picadillo long dog. It's 26,000 stitches. So I could break this up. I could break this piece up into 12 easily. I mean, I could easily do 2,000 stitches a month to see this finished within the year. So it's a contender, believe it or not. This is a contender for my break it up into 12. I was surprised that it was only 26,000 stitches, especially since Kinto Okuto is, I think, 65,000. Yeah, this one's fairly little by comparison. So that is my restart on Opening Gambit, and I'm not mad about having to do the restart, if I'm honest. It was a bit of a happy accident. So, I mean, I would have been happy to just keep going and to get further into the first edition without having the big error, but anyway, so that's that. And I'm stitching that using DMC 902. So Opening Gambit was in the midst of 24 hours of cross stitch, the marathon weekend, which was not just this just past weekend, but the weekend beforehand. It was 24 hours of cross stitch. And so I was thinking that I might try to get in all of the things that I thought I was going to start at Stitch New Jersey. I was going to try to get those started during marathon weekend. I got one of them started, so at least one of them got started. But the other two will have to hold off for next month, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. So that project is living in this project bag. This is a brass button bag, and I have had this piece kitted up for like a year. And then, like I said, I got it officially kitted up at Stitch New Jersey. So, preview here of what this will look like finished. So this is Summer Montage by Pain Free Crafts. The artist is Janet Stever, and there's a bunch of folks working on either this version or the Jan Lane kit edition of these designs. It is a seasonal series for which eventually I'd like to do all 4. I'm not going to start all 4 I'm only starting with this one because this is the one that I've had ready to go, and I wanted to start last year. It just never came together for me to be able to start it. So I finally started it last weekend. I ripped out the stitching that I had done at Stitch New Jersey and restarted, and here is where I'm up to. So I'm stitching this on 25 count Lugana in Vintage Country Mocha. I had a very Vintage Country Mocha weekend. And my reason for that is I don't really have a great one. I just decided I wanted to stitch on something else, and so I decided to start it on this. I have seen where some folks are stitching these on different colored fabrics. I know Colette, the Highway Stitcher, is stitching it on like a green color. And so I guess that's where I got the inspiration to stitch it on something else. That, and I think I was going to stitch this over on 40 count, but that didn't work out. Anyway, all of that to say, I got it started, and this is what I did on that first day, and I love it. I am having so much fun already. I only got to work on it the one day because WhipGo is a thing. But nonetheless, so excited to have finally gotten this started. And this is something that's gonna probably come up next month. So I will get some more love into this. And I can't wait to get further into that rose and into all of the fun things, and to finally be stitching along with everybody else who's doing it. Only a couple more to go here. So after summer montage, I had to get back to WhipGo, and so I pulled out Blackwater Hollow Sampler and then worked on that until it was done this past Friday. So Saturday, with 3 days left, I had 2 WhipGo projects to do and Glory of Autumn. And there was no way I was going to accomplish all 3 of those things in 3 days. It just wasn't going to happen. So I had to prioritize, and I decided to start with Glory of Autumn. So that lives in this project bag. This is a bag by Hillside Rookery, Olivia B. And in here is Glory of Autumn, my oldest whip. This year broke it up into 12 to see the finish by the end of the year. And here is what this will look like finished. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I want to be in these colors. I want to be in the setting where it looks like this outside. Okay, so this is Glory of Autumn, and I love this. I love this so much. So this is on 28 count antique white cashel linen. I subbed the fabric that came in the kit for this because I prefer linen, because I prefer bigger margins. And that kit Ada is cardboard, very stiff. So I swapped it out for something much happier for me. And this is my piece that I broke up into 12 sections. My sections this year are 12 stitches down by the width. And I had what you see here on this side complete at the start of the year. And so I've been pretty much focused on this side all year. I am working on the back stitch as I go, but it's not on a strict timeline like the cross stitching is. So my section this month got me to the end of the water wheel housing. What a weird thing to say. I still have the foundation of it to do, so the stonework here at the bottom of it, but nonetheless, the building itself is done. That's weird. I started this piece in 2015, so we're talking 8 years, and I now, that's weird. So yeah, really cool to have that section done. And then I got into the ground, and I basically just have trunk left of this humongous tree. And I got into some of the half stitch, which basically the rest of this is going to be a lot of half stitch. The water and the grass is all half stitch. The leaves and the fence and whatnot are all full stitch, but it's a lot of half stitch from here on out. So my August section will be my first one where I've got a stitch in the full width, but it's going to be a lot of half stitch, which will be, it'll be nice. It's looking so good, and I am having so much fun. I'm giving myself some undue stress by saving it until the last few days. It was 1,000 stitches that I did in about 2 days, and that was purely possible because the housing here is a lot of like lines of color. It wasn't this crazy confetti over here. But I just can't be saving this to the bitter end. I can't be doing that. So this is a piece that I'm going to work on in the middle of the month here in August. But we'll talk about plans in a minute. So that is where I'm up to with Glory of Autumn. As I mentioned, I have 2 Whipco pieces that I haven't accomplished yet. I haven't accomplished my goal, and I'm not going to. I will get to them eventually, hopefully, probably in October, because they are 2 Halloween pieces, both October by the Cricket Collection and Jack's Bash by Plum Straight Samplers. When I finished my Glory of Autumn section yesterday, I was faced with choosing. I could work on one of those. However, my goals for those are pretty big. Jack's Bash needs 4 days. No matter what I do, it needs 4 days. And October needs 5 days or 2,000 stitches. And neither of those things were going to get done in 2 days. With tomorrow being August, it's arbitrary August. And I love to participate in arbitrary August. And so I could have done half of one of the goals, or I could just save them both for October. For some dark October stitching, I feel like that is fitting. So that's kind of the plan there. If it works out that I can work on it sooner than that, cool, but also like not necessary. So ultimately I decided to work on something else. I almost went Sway. I almost went to Summer Sampler, but there was a piece that I reached my Whipco goal, but I hadn't quite reached my overall goal, if you will. And that is Fairy Moon by Mirabilia. I've been in the mood for some fancy lady stitching, and this is a piece that needed 1 more day so that I could get it to that threshold of 5 days progress into all of my whips. I was already planning on working on it in August for its whip birthday on the 11th, but I thought, well, this is a good opportunity. I'll just work on it for this last day and a half or so of July, and whatever I get done, that's my goal. That's my goal accomplished. I had met my 1,300 stitches at the earlier parts of the year, so this felt like a really good solution. I didn't do a whole lot yesterday. I didn't do a whole lot this morning. I don't know that I'm going to stitch any more today, but I got some more progress into this well-loved, humongous piece that has been a whip for 5 years now. So this is on a 28 count cashel linen in Shadow by Picture This Plus. And for me, it's a little bit purple. For you all, it's way purple, and I think it's gorgeous in that purple. So we're not going to have any before and afters for this because the wing is what I've worked on this go around. I just decided I wanted some 2/2 instead of working on skin, and I wanted some color instead of working on the dark browns of her hair. So I was able to get started on her wing. So yeah, so that's where I got to, where I am, I should say, with Fairy Moon. If I stitch any more, then I will show that to you next time, but I wouldn't count on it. I wouldn't count on me getting any more stitching today. A little under 200 stitches is enough for a little bit of progress. Okay, so with that being my last project for the month, since we are at the end of July here, let me give you some end of month statistics because I can. So I just had a look at my stats page, and I have done 18,854 stitches this month. That's wild. That's wild. I had no idea it was that much. The long dogs getting really fast stitches and the full coverage getting really fast stitches, I guess, just added up pretty quickly. So 18,854 stitches. I can't believe it. I had zero stitching days this month, so that's pretty cool. So I had one finish and one new start, which means that I am still at 82 whips as I was at the beginning of July. So that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to stay even. I am probably going to have a new start or two in the month of August, and I don't know that I'll have any finishes, but nonetheless, we'll see what we can do. So that is July. All done with July. Okay, so let's get into some plans. Because tomorrow is August, and August for me is Arbitrary August. Arbitrary August was created by Sarah Stitchin' Mommy, and it was created a few years ago, in which you, in some form or fashion, randomly choose what you're going to be working on. So for me, in August, I'm going to have 2 separate Arbitrary Augusts. The first one, for the first half of the month, is going to be Arbitrary August, where I spin a wheel. I'll insert it here so that you can see what it looks like. Of my 2023 new starts, in which I haven't met 2 stipulations: 5 days, 1,300 stitches. Some of those pieces need more stitches, some of those pieces need more days, a few of them need both. And so you'll see that in the parentheses what I need to accomplish on those new starts in that wheel that I have there. So that's going to be the first half of August for me, and I'm really excited to get back to these new starts for this year. Some of them have not seen near enough progress, and so I'm really excited. There's a few in there where I'm like chomping at the bit to get back to. So that's very exciting. I did not bring those to show you because I have just shown them either today or in my mid-year whip parade. So there's that. And you'll see them as they come up. I might vlog. I might. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what I do. Okay, so that's for the first 15 days of the month. And then I'm going to work on Glory of Autumn, get my section done for August. And then I'm going to do another Arbitrary August for Whip Go pieces, because every month I get 6 new Whip Go projects and I've got to get them done so that I don't have a backlog that builds. I need to get all 6 of these this month. And one of the others if I can, but we'll start with these 6 and see how it goes. So let me show you what my Whip Go calls were for the month of August. For August, we got numbers 18 and 24. And so these are the pieces that are my 18 and 24 for August. Okay, so first up, we have a long dog. And this is Sans Souci. So this is my last long dog for the year. I have 4 on the go currently, and this is now my only one on 32 count. It is also my only one in 2 shades, which is interesting. So this is 32 count Ice Blue Belfast Linen. I am stitching this in DMC 37.99 and 9.95. And that always makes me think of Lady Wing Designs because we are both big fans of 9.95. So this is another fairly small long dog that I am hardly into. I was further into this. I was stitching this with a much bigger color palette. I think I had 5 or 6 colors, and I reduced it down to 2 because I can't figure out where to put colors. So I reduced it down just to make my brain happy. And so 3 days or 1,300 stitches, whichever comes first. as is the way with long dogs, I may end up going further than that. Hopefully I won't restart this one, but you never know. So that is Sans Souci. Up next, living in this project bag. This is a Momely bag. And in here is my Autumn Fairy by Chatelaine. So this is its second rotation. This is a 2016 whip, and my 2016s get 2 rotations. This one will be 3 days or 1,300 stitches, whichever comes first. And hopefully it is much more progress than the first rotation was. Because the first rotation I didn't do as much as I would have liked. This is a 32 count Belfast linen in Mellow by Picture This Plus. I'd really like to get the fairy done. I think that that will be my goal for this rotation, is to get the fairy done and these grape side medallions. Not the beading yet, but nonetheless. So that will be my goal for this rotation. Okay, up next is, oh, I'm really excited to work on this. This is a piece I haven't worked on in a long time. This is a project bag by Vintage Owl Lady, Susan. Gorgeous, gorgeous bag. I have not worked on this in so long. And were it not for a whip parade that I did a couple years ago, I don't know that y'all would remember I had this. This is Earth Goddess by Joan Elliott. I'm so excited to work on this again. My thread ring was sticking to my binder. So yeah, I'm really, really excited to work on this one again. So gorgeous. And this is on, oh good, I have the tag. This is 32 count Belfast in Dried Thistle by Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And here's where I am. This is a piece that I started in 2017. And so its goal is 5 days or 2,000 stitches, whichever comes first. I worked on it for a day in 2018 and not since. It's been so long and I cannot wait to get back into those colors and this fabric. Ugh, it's gorgeous. Just gorgeous. So that is my Earth Goddess. Up next, I told y'all I'm in the mood for some fancy lady stitching, so we have Earth Goddess, and then we have in this bag, this is by Jasmine's Custom Bags, and I love this bag. This is my Fancy Lady Focus. I use the air quotes because I'm not really focusing on it, but this is Queen Mermaid by Mirabilia, and again 2016 whip, so it's getting its second rotation. And I think I'm probably going to end up working on the fin on this one, on her tail. That's the back. There's the front. I'm probably going to work on her tail, but I might start to work my way up. I might try to work up because this could be a contender for Focus on a Finish in 2024. But I'd like to work top down. So we'll kind of have to cross that bridge when we get there and see how I feel when I get to working on this piece. Fabric is 32 count Belfast linen in As You Wish by Under the Sea Fabrics. Pretty perfect for a mermaid. Up next we have another monochromatic piece that I'm hoping to get some good progress into. This is the Stark House Banner by Lolita Maid. On Etsy is where I got it. I don't know if Lolita Maid is a shop, and so I will link it in the description box if it is. And so here's where I'm up to with the Stark House Banner. I'm further along than I thought I was. That's cool. So we will see what I end up doing for this rotation. This is 32 count Belfast linen in Valyrian steel. I'm stitching it using DMC 762, believe it or not. I know it looks white, but it's icy blue. Gorgeous. Yeah, this is gonna be fun. I we'll see what I work on, because I was thinking it might be cool to come over here and maybe work on the wolf's head, or to continue on this page that I have started. So I guess we'll see. And then my last piece I'm also so excited about. I haven't worked on since starting it. It lives in this project bag. This is by Christine of Stitch All the Things. And in here lives my Autumn sampler by Cooler Design Studio. I am so excited to get back to this. As you know, I had a bunch of fun with my summer sampler, and so now I'm going to get to work on my autumn sampler, and I haven't seen this piece, like I said, since 2019, so 4 years. So this is a 32 count Belfast linen. I think this is flax. I'm pretty sure that this is flax from Zweigart, and I have a very simple start on this one, but I'm so excited to work on this. So excited. I thought I was further than I am. Oh, I have a sticker. Yes, it's flax. So anyway, I'm so excited to get into this. I'm gonna get it loaded up into Pattern Keeper, and my goal for this one is not as significant as it was for summer. This one is only 3 days or 1,300 stitches, but honestly, some progress for the first time in years. I'll take it. I'm here for it. I'm in the mood to work on these seasonal pieces, of which I have so many, but that's okay. So that takes care of the Whipco pieces. You might have seen in my wheel for my 2023 new starts, I had one that's listed as new start. I might add in a couple more of those. I have a few things that I'd really like to get started. But maybe I'll just save those for if they come up. Let's do that. Let's save those for if it comes up. I'll keep that under wraps, and we'll see how it goes. Last on the agenda for today is to talk about some haul, for which I have a little bit. I have a little bit of stuff here. I don't think I have everything here that I have purchased since I last did an update video. Yeah, that's probably... I last did an update in April, so probably not. But this is some of the more recent fun stuff that I've got. So, and it is in no particular order. So, at Stitch New Jersey, they had a vendor room where you could, we had several vendors, and so I made sure to get a couple of things from Joe. So this is a scissor fob with these gorgeous beads on them, and a little sunflower there at the end. And then Terry Lee Crafts was helping Joe out, and she said, you know, I really like this pairing. And I said, okay, I like it too. So I got these scissors, just some floral scissors with the butterflies on them, and then this scissor fob, which is not heavy at all. It's not heavy. These are gorgeous lightweight beads. They're big, but they're lightweight. I really like these like volcanic kind of chameleon color changing ones at the ends with the butterfly at the end. So those are what I picked up from Joe. Case in point, not in order whatsoever. Abby Bella Stitch was having a D-stash, and so I picked up a couple of things. The first is this Red Heart sampler from the Stitching Parlor. Just a cute little monochromatic sampler. Yeah, so there is that. And then a Prairie Schooler, the Friends booklet. So yeah, I'm going to stitch probably all of those. I really like all of them. This one I think is my favorite. We have been friends together in sunshine and shade. Cute. So there's that. Okay, back to some Stitch New Jersey haul. This was past the stash / Fabry table. This is the summer ABCs. I really like to stitch these because I don't have enough seasonal sets. But yeah, I'd really like to stitch that. So I think Tessa brought this one. I I think Tessa was the one who brought that. And then a couple of things that I bought. This is Betsy's Autumn Basket by Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery. And I really, really like Pansy Patch things. And look, it's another seasonal set to work on collecting. But, I mean, that basket is maroon and orange, so, like, how could I not? Primo's Cutted Stitchers, making the rounds, and this is Hive Rolls. So cute. I actually have the project bag that this is going to live in. This could be a start this month. It's only 11 colors of DMC. Yeah, this could be a start this month. Okay. Add that to the list of potentials. Up next, it was another one found on the freebie table. This is A Mind Independent and Free by Carriage House. And I know there was a stitch along for this not too long ago between some folks. And I love this. No glory I covet, no riches I want, ambition and beauty are nothing to me. The one thing I beg of good heaven to grant is a mind independent and free. Cool. Very, very cool. Add that to the list of things that I need to stitch now. Okay. Also from Needleworkers, Silk Weaver, I picked up 32 count Belfast in Vintage Blue Whisper. This is one of those printed fabrics. With the modeling on one side and plain on the back. I stitched my Lady of the Flag on this same color fabric, and I really, really enjoy these. So picked that up, and then a piece of Hand Dyes by Jim, which is Silk Weaver under the new name of Hand Dyes by Jim. This is Mudbug in a 40 count Newcastle linen. No clue what this is for, but it's beautiful. Okay, in the vendor room, I had to pick up some Grace Notes. I have been wanting to get some of the Grace Notes team fabrics for a long time, and I saw this in the 46 count and jumped on it. This is Molly, and this I am pinning for a new start here in August. So we will see this again. And I'm so excited to stitch on this. It's such a soft, like buttery, buttermilk, neutral. So this was the day that I had the migraine, and I was thinking, I need to go back downstairs and I need to go buy some more Grace Notes, because, I mean, having fabric at the hand there, I need to go take advantage. And I got there 10 minutes too late after the vendor room had closed. So I ordered some online while at retreat. I ordered a couple of pieces. So anyway, starting off with Molly, and so thrilled to have some Grace Notes in my stash. Looking forward to stitching with that. Okay, and next we get into the project bags, of which there are several. I don't think I have everything here of the project bags that I have purchased recently, but these are ones that don't yet have projects in them. So here's another one by Penny and Tunny. This gorgeous, like, I don't know, country landscape, but like with nobility, having tea. Very cool. So there's that, and then the inside fabric is a simple print with a little bit of gold in there. So I thought that was really pretty. And then from Kim, Crafty Kim, I picked up this honeybee bag. So this is what Hive Rolls is going to live in when I get that kitted up. Maybe I'll put that on Molly too, because what else I have planned for it. Yeah, that's a good idea. Put this on 46 count. Thanks, y'all. Thanks for your help with that. So I thought that was really gorgeous. And then plain white on the inside. I love that her bags are different from a lot of these all fabric bags in that the coordinating fabric is on the bottom instead of at the top. It's just kind of an interesting take. And then this gorgeous in green with the birds and the flowers. So I'm reaching a point where most of my projects are in project bags now. And so I'm trying to pick up bags that once I finish the project that is in the bag, it can easily be reused for something else rather than buying bags for specific projects. So like I'm thinking like my Beauty and the Beast one, do I always have to have a Beauty and the Beast project on the go? Maybe. Anyway, so that's kind of what this speaks to me of for. Like this is something that I can use for multiple projects. This is a StitchCon Annex purchase that I never showed y'all. But just some cute owls. This is a bag by Black Cat X Stitchery. And I thought this was really cute. And the last, since I cheated on Vic a little bit, I do have a new bag from Stitch and Button. Is this not perfect for Summer Sampler? I thought it was perfect for Summer Sampler. So cute. Oh my goodness, so cute. And then I also got the thread bed to go with it because I love the little thread beds, especially for Summer Sampler. And oh my goodness, I didn't even see that part. The little charm is a little sloth too. It's perfect. And the thread bed is pretty perfect. It's so cute. So cute. While I was on Virtual Stitches this weekend, me pleased another bag. So yeah, they just keep coming. So that's all I have for the haul for this time. Yeah, I think that's it. So I think we've done enough also. I am going to be back later this week with something special. Keep your eyes peeled for that. Probably Wednesday, I think, is when that will happen. So stay tuned. Something exciting coming this week, and I'm pretty thrilled about it. But I'm gonna head off because it's really late and I've got to start editing so that I can get this uploaded and get cleaned up. Trying to think if there's anything else. I always have a hard time with the ending here because I feel like there's something more that I should say other than, okay, I'm done, bye. But I also don't know what to say here. So I'm just gonna say thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for your continued support of me and my channel. I hope that you're well. I hope that you're stitching. As always, be kind, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, y'all. Happy stitching.